You hear all this talk about AI taking over Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if I told you it's already happening?
Really?
And in a really cool way,
Yeah.
we're diving into how the Quandamuka Film Festival in Australia is using AI to help anyone make a movie.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
This festival on Minjerribah Island is giving folks the power to create their own pilot episodes
Oh, wow.
using AI as a creative partner.
So it's not about replacing human filmmakers at all?
No, no, no.
Okay.
It's about empowering people who might not have the resources or the technical know-how to make a film otherwise.
That's amazing.
So how does this actually work?
Yeah, how does it work?
Is the AI writing the whole script,
Hmm?
taking over the director's chair?
Not quite. Think
Uh-huh.
of it as a collaboration.
Okay.
The AI acts as a sort of brainstorming partner,
Mm.
offering suggestions and helping with different parts of the process.
Right.
But the human filmmaker is always in control,
Okay.
making the creative decisions
Yeah.
and ensuring their unique vision shines through.
Okay, so walk me through this.
Sure.
How does this AI assistant actually help someone create a film?
Well, imagine you're sitting down with a team of story experts,
Okay.
but instead of a whole team, you have this AI at your fingertips.
Right.
It can analyze local cultural data,
Uh-huh.
pull inspiration from the unique stories and traditions of Minjerribah Island,
Yeah.
and even suggest themes that resonate with the community.
So the AI is actually helping to ensure the stories are authentic to the place and the people.
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
And it goes beyond just initial ideas.
Okay.
This AI can help flesh out characters,
Hmm.
suggest plot points,
Wow.
even help you visualize your scenes before you even pick up a camera.
Really?
It's like having a pre-production team built right into the system.
So if I want to make a movie about, say, a family of surfers
Okay.
who discover a hidden cave filled with ancient Aboriginal rock art,
Yeah,
the AI could help me develop those characters,
it could.
come up with some dramatic twists and turns,
Yeah.
and maybe even generate some concept art for what that cave might look like.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's all about taking those sparks of inspiration
Yeah.
and turning them into a tangible story step by step.
Right.
But the beauty of it is the human filmmaker is always the one calling the shots,
Right.
making choices about what resonates with them,
Yeah.
and shaping the story they want to tell.
This is making me want to try my hand at filmmaking.
I know, right?
But let's be honest.
Yeah,
Making a film can be a logistical nightmare.
sure can.
How does this AI address all those practical challenges?
So that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
This system isn't just about the creative side.
Okay.
It also helps with practical considerations like casting,
Mhm.
finding locations,
Right.
and even figuring out how to simplify scenes based on the resources available in the community.
So if my script calls for a helicopter chase scene,
Okay.
but I don't have access to a helicopter
Yeah.
or a big budget,
Sure.
the AI might suggest a creative alternative
It might.
that still delivers the same dramatic impact.
Precisely.
Wow.
It's like having a super efficient production assistant
Okay.
who understands your vision
Right.
and helps you make it a reality within the constraints of your resources.
Right.
And even once you're in post-production,
Oh, wow.
the AI can still help with things like editing,
Mhm.
sound mixing,
Yeah.
and even adding special effects.
Hold on.
Yeah.
With all this AI involvement,
Yeah.
how do they ensure the final product still reflects the filmmaker's vision and the unique voice of the community?
Okay.
Doesn't it risk feeling a bit generic?
That's where the design of the system comes in.
Okay.
They've created a user-friendly interface
Mhm.
that makes it easy for anyone, regardless of their technical skills,
Right.
to interact with the AI and make choices about their film every step of the way.
So it's not like the AI spits out a finished film and says, here you go, take it or leave it.
Not at all.
Okay.
It's more of a back-and-forth conversation.
Okay.
The AI offers suggestions.
Right. The filmmaker makes choices
Mm-hmm.
and the AI adjusts accordingly.
Okay, so it sounds like they've really thought about how to make this system accessible and user-friendly.
They have.
But how do they ensure that the stories being told are culturally sensitive and respectful of the community's traditions?
That's a crucial aspect of this project.
Yeah.
And they've taken several steps to address it.
Okay.
First, the AI itself is trained on data specific to Minjerribah Island, including cultural heritage,
Right.
local language,
Sure.
and even traditional storytelling techniques.
So it's not just some generic AI that's been fed a bunch of Hollywood scripts.
Nope.
It actually understands the nuances of this particular community.
Exactly.
So that's pretty impressive.
It is.
But it goes beyond that.
Okay, how so?
They also have human cultural advisors involved throughout the process,
Oh, wow.
providing feedback on scripts, characters, and storylines
Mm-hmm.
to ensure authenticity and respect.
That's great.
So there's that human element in there as well.
Making sure that things don't go off the rails.
Yeah, that's important.
So we've talked about how this AI helps with brainstorming ideas and navigating the practicalities of filmmaking.
Right.
But I'm curious about the tech behind it all.
Yeah.
How do they actually make this magic happen?
Well, it's not magic, though. It might seem that way.
Right.
At its heart, this system blends familiar web technologies with cutting-edge AI.
Okay.
Think of it like this. There's a front end, which is what the filmmaker interacts with.
Yeah.
All those user-friendly screens and tools.
Right.
That's built with a technology called React.
Okay, so React is like the face of the application,
That's a good way to put it.
making it easy to use
Yeah.
what's going on behind the scenes.
Behind that friendly face, you have what's called the back end,
Okay.
which handles all the complex logic and data management.
Right.
They've used Node.js for this,
Okay.
which is a popular choice for building robust web applications.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's the AR itself, which is where things get really exciting.
I'm all ears.
Right.
How does the AI actually integrate with this whole system?
They've built these specialized AI agents,
Okay.
each dedicated to a specific task, like
Mhm.
generating story ideas, developing characters,
Right.
or suggesting dialogue.
So it's like having a whole team of specialists back there
Yeah.
with their own expertise,
Yeah, you could say that.
all working together to help the filmmaker.
Precisely.
That's pretty wild.
It is.
And these agents communicate with the rest of the system through APIs,
Right.
which are like,
standardized messengers,
Yeah.
allowing different software components to talk to each other.
okay,
This modular design makes it super flexible.
flexible in what way?
Well, it means they can easily update or add new AI agents as the technology advances,
Oh,
without having to overhaul the entire system.
that's smart.
It's a future-proof approach
Right.
that keeps the system on the cutting edge.
So how does a filmmaker actually interact with these AI agents?
Yeah.
Do they have to write lines of code or anything like that?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
Remember that user-friendly interface we talked about?
Yeah.
That's where the magic happens.
Okay.
The filmmaker interacts with the AI through simple prompts and choices.
Right.
And the interface translates those interactions into instructions that the AI agents can understand.
So I could say something like, I want my main character to be a strong, independent woman who's passionate about protecting the environment.
Okay.
And the AI would take that and run with it.
Exactly.
Wow.
The AI would use that input to generate character ideas, backstories,
Yeah.
even potential dialogue that fits that description.
Right?
And then the filmmaker can choose from those suggestions,
Okay.
tweak them,
Yeah.
or even reject them entirely and provide more specific instructions.
It really is like a creative collaboration.
It
With the
is.
filmmaker guiding the AI and the AI offering a wealth of possibilities.
That's the beauty of this approach.
Yeah.
It blends the power of AI with the human touch,
Right.
ensuring that the final product is both innovative and deeply personal.
All this talk of AI agents and APIs is making my head spin a little.
Yeah, it can get a little technical.
Can you give me a concrete example of how this works in practice?
Sure. Okay. Let's go back to your idea of a film about surfers discovering a hidden cave with Aboriginal rock art.
Okay.
Imagine you're using the system and you've just told the AI about your theme and the basic plot outline.
Right.
Now you want to develop those characters further.
Okay.
You could go to the characters section of the interface and start interacting with the AI agent responsible for character development.
Okay, and how would that work?
Well, you might start by giving the AI some basic information about each character.
Okay.
Their age, occupation, personality traits, and so on.
Right.
You could even upload pictures or sketches for visual inspiration.
Uh-huh.
The AI would then take that information and generate detailed character profiles, complete with backstories, motivations, and even quirks that make them feel real.
So instead of staring at a blank page, trying to come up with everything from scratch,
Yeah,
the AI is giving me a starting point, something to build upon.
exactly.
That's really cool.
And you can always refine those suggestions, add your own details, or even ask the AI to generate completely new options if you're not satisfied with the first batch.
Okay.
It's all about finding that sweet spot between AI assistance and human creativity.
This is amazing.
It is pretty cool.
It sounds like it could revolutionize the way people approach filmmaking,
I think it could.
especially for those who might not have access to traditional resources or support.
Yeah, That's the goal.
That's awesome.
To democratize filmmaking and empower people to tell their stories in new and exciting ways.
That's fantastic.
And remember, we've only scratched the surface of the technology here.
Right.
There's so much more to explore.
Well, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dive a bit deeper into those technical details you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
You talked about how the AI agents are built using Python. Right. And how they communicate with the rest of the system through APIs. Can you unpack that a bit more for our non-programmer listeners?
Of course.
Thanks.
Imagine these AI agents as specialized programs, each designed to perform a specific task.
Like little robots.
Yeah, like little robots.
That live in the digital world.
Yeah, exactly.
And speak a language called Python.
Precisely.
So like a robot that's really good at generating dialogue. Or another one that excels at creating compelling character backstories.
Exactly.
Now, to communicate with these robots, we need a common language.
We do.
A way for different parts of the system to talk to each other.
Right.
That's where APIs come in.
That's where they come in.
Okay, so APIs are like translators between different parts of the system.
Precisely.
Got it.
Think of an API as a set of rules and specifications that define how different software components can interact. It's like a universal language that allows our React front end, our Node.js back end, and our Python-based AI agents to understand each other and work together seamlessly.
So when I input information into the user interface, that information gets translated into Python instructions that the AI agents can understand. Thanks to the API acting as a go-between.
Exactly. It's like a complex dance with different parts of the system moving in sync, thanks to the API keeping everyone in rhythm.
So to bring it back to our surfer film example.
Yeah.
When I tell the AI about my character ideas, the API takes those instructions, translates them into Python, and sends them off to the character development agent, which then uses its AI magic to generate those detailed profiles.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
It's like having a team of expert translators working behind the scenes, ensuring that the creative vision of the filmmaker is seamlessly transformed into AI-powered results.
This is fascinating stuff.
It is.
But I have to admit, I'm still a bit hazy on how these AI agents actually work their magic.
I understand.
What's going on inside those Python programs that enables them to generate such creative content?
Well, that's where we get into the realm of machine learning and natural language processing, which are specialized fields within artificial intelligence.
Sounds complicated.
It can be, but the basic idea is that these AI agents have been trained on massive amounts of data.
Like what kind of data?
Including scripts, novels, articles, and even real-world conversations.
So they've basically devoured a library's worth of information.
Yeah, pretty much.
And learned how to apply that knowledge to generate new content.
Precisely.
That's pretty impressive.
It is.
Okay, but how does that translate into actually generating, say, a compelling character backstory?
Well, when provide the AI with information about a character, their personality, their goals, their background, the AI uses all that data to weave a narrative that fits those parameters. It's like giving the AI a set of puzzle pieces and asking it to create a complete picture.
So if I tell the AI that my surfer character is haunted by a past trauma, the AI might draw on its knowledge of storytelling to come up with a backstory that involves a near-drowning experience or a difficult family dynamic.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's all about taking those initial prompts and using them as a springboard to create a richer, more nuanced character arc.
This is mind-blowing.
It is pretty amazing.
It's like having access to a limitless well of creative possibilities.
Yeah, it really expands the possibilities.
But before we get too carried away with the potential of these AI agents, let's address the elephant in the room.
Okay, what's that?
The concern that AI might lead to a homogenization of storytelling.
Right.
A world where all films start to feel the same.
That's a valid concern.
It is.
And it's something like the developers of the system have thought about carefully.
Yeah, how have they addressed that?
Remember how we talked about the importance of human control? Well, that's key to preventing this kind of homogenization.
So how does this system ensure that each film retains its own unique voice and reflects the filmmaker's vision?
Well, for one thing, the AI is never making decisions on its own.
Okay.
It's always offering suggestions.
Right.
And the filmmaker is always the one making the final call.
So even if the AI suggests a plot twist that feels cliché or a character archetype that's been done to death, the filmmaker has the power to say, no, that's not what I'm going for.
Exactly.
So it's like having a brainstorming partner who throws out a ton of ideas.
Right.
But you get to choose which ones to keep and which ones to discard.
Precisely.
Okay, that makes sense.
And remember, the AI itself is trained on a vast and diverse data set.
Yeah.
So it's capable of generating a wide range of ideas.
Right.
From the familiar to the completely unexpected.
Okay.
It's all about how the filmmaker guides the AI and uses those suggestions as inspiration.
Okay, but what about the data itself?
Yeah, what about it?
If the AI is trained on existing films and stories, doesn't that risk perpetuating existing biases and stereotypes?
That's a great question.
It is something I've been thinking about.
And it highlights the importance of responsible AI development.
Yeah?
The developers of this system have taken steps to mitigate this risk
Okay, good.
by carefully curating the training data
Uh-huh.
and ensuring that it represents a diverse range of voices and perspectives.
So they're not just feeding the AI a diet of Hollywood blockbusters.
Not at all.
Okay.
They've included films from independent filmmakers, international cinema documentaries,
Wow.
and even oral histories from the Quandamuka community itself.
That's really cool.
The goal is to expose the AI to as much diversity as possible,
Right.
so it can generate ideas that are both creative and culturally sensitive.
That's reassuring.
Good.
It sounds like they've really thought through the potential pitfalls of AI
They have.
and taken steps to ensure that it's used in a way that empowers filmmakers without sacrificing originality or cultural sensitivity.
Precisely.
Well, I'm sold.
Right.
This all sounds incredibly promising.
It is.
But how do they actually make this system work in the real world?
Yeah, good question.
Building a prototype is one thing, but making it robust and reliable enough for a film festival is a whole other challenge.
That's where things get really technical,
Oh boy,
but also really fascinating.
I'm intrigued.
In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore how they take this system from a cool concept to a production-ready reality.
We've talked about the creative possibilities and
Yep.
the technical wizardry behind this AI filmmaking assistant.
Right.
But now I'm curious about the practical side of things.
Okay.
How do you take a system like this and make it work in the real world,
Yeah,
ready to handle the demands of a film festival?
that's where the concept of turnkey comes in.
Turnkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not enough to have a brilliant idea
Right.
or even a working prototype.
Mm-hmm.
You need to create a system that's so well designed and documented
Yeah.
that it can be easily deployed and used by others.
So it's like,
It's like putting your software in a neat little box
Right,
that
yeah.
can be easily moved and run anywhere.
so instead of having to install all sorts of different software and dependencies on a specific server,
Yeah.
you can just deploy this container and it's good to go.
Precisely.
Wow.
That's Docker in a nutshell.
Okay.
And Docker Compose takes it a step further
Right.
by allowing you to define and manage multiple containers that work together.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So in this case, you'd have separate containers for the React front end,
Yes.
the Node.js back end,
Mm-hmm.
and all those Python AI agents,
Right.
all orchestrated by Docker Compose.
You got it.
Okay.
And this containerized approach has tons of benefits for a production-ready system.
Like what?
Well, first of all, it simplifies deployment.
Okay.
You can easily deploy the entire system with all its dependencies
Right.
to any server that supports Docker.
Okay.
This portability eliminates compatibility issues and makes it super easy to move the system between environments.
That sounds like a huge time saver.
It is
Agree.
scalability.
Okay.
If the system needs to handle more users or more complex tasks,
Right.
you can simply spin up more containers to share the load.
Okay.
It's incredibly flexible and can adapt to changing demands.
So it's like having an elastic system that can expand or contract as needed.
Exactly.
Pretty impressive.
Are there any other advantages?
Yeah, are there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Containers also enhance security
How so?
by providing a level of isolation.
Okay.
If one container is compromised,
Right.
it's less likely to affect other parts of the system.
So it's like having multiple firewalls protecting each component from potential threats.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so containers sound like a game changer for building a robust and scalable system.
They really are.
But what about all those sensitive details like passwords and API keys?
Yeah.
You don't want those floating around in plain text,
I
right?
do not.
So how do they do that?
That's where secure configuration management comes in. It's about managing sensitive information in a way that's both organized and safe from prying eyes.
Okay, so how do they do that?
They use something called environment variables.
Environment variables.
Yeah. These are values that are stored outside of the code
Okay.
and can be easily managed and secured through tools like Docker or cloud platforms.
So instead of hard-coding sensitive data into the code.
Yeah.
They store it in separate environment variables that can be accessed by the application at runtime.
Exactly.
Okay.
This makes it much easier to change configurations without modifying the code.
Right.
And enhances security by keeping those secrets out of the code base.
It's like having a separate vault for your most valuable data,
Yeah.
guarded by multiple layers of security.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
And they've also implemented robust logging and error handling systems,
Okay.
which are essential for monitoring the health of the system and identifying potential issues.
So it's like having a built-in diagnostic tool that can tell you if anything is going wrong and help you troubleshoot problems.
Exactly. And they don't stop there.
What else?
They also have systems in place for input validation,
Okay.
which helps prevent security vulnerabilities by ensuring that the data coming into the system is valid and safe.
Right.
And they use rate limiting to prevent abuse of the system
Oh, okay.
by limiting the number of requests that can be made within a specific time frame.
So it's like they've thought of every possible scenario
Yeah, pretty much.
and built-in safeguards to ensure that the system runs smoothly and securely.
Precisely.
That's impressive.
And to top it all off, they have automated testing procedures that run every time the code is updated,
Oh, wow.
catching bugs early and preventing problems from slipping through the cracks.
So it's like having a tireless team of quality assurance specialists constantly checking the code for any potential issues.
Exactly.
That's really smart.
They've really gone above and beyond to ensure that this filmmaking assistant is not just a cool concept,
Right.
but a robust and reliable tool that can empower filmmakers for years to come.
This is truly remarkable.
It is.
It sounds like they've taken a very holistic approach to building this system,
They have.
considering not just the technical aspects,
Right.
but also the user experience, the cultural sensitivity, and the long-term sustainability of the project.
I completely agree.
Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive,
We have.
and I have to say I'm incredibly impressed by what we've uncovered.
Me too.
This AI filmmaking assistant is not just a technological marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shining example of what's possible when you combine creative thinking,
Yeah.
technical expertise, and a genuine desire to make a positive impact.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
It's been a real pleasure exploring this project with you.
It has been fun.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be watching a film that was born from this very system.
That would be amazing.
A testament to the power of community creativity and the magic of human-AI collaboration.
That's a wonderful thought.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.